Today, I thought I'd talk about some interesting Reddit threads I saw. And the first Reddit thread I read, I thought, oh, maybe I should just make a video dedicated to this. And then I saw a couple other interesting ones. So I thought I'd just do some Reddit threads, and I'll link to them below. So the first Reddit thread, this was very interesting to me. The title of the Reddit thread was Old People Smell. And I'm like, what the heck? That sounds kind of offensive and mean. And I clicked on and did some reading about it, so I'll link to it below. And actually, if you notice, sometimes older women wear a lot of perfume and things like that, or sometimes people that say they work in nursing homes notice a scent to it. And apparently, the older you get, there's actually like molecular level skin changes and DNA changes, which actually result in a smell. So people... there's a gal that commented on here that says her mom's in an assisted living facility, and when she takes her laundry home, she has to strip it, which I guess soaking it in like borax, because she notices it has that smell to it. And there's an actual reason for it, and it's an actual thing. So I guess I had no idea that even existed. And the treatment for it is actually something called persimmon soap, which is made out of the ingredient persimmon, and it's soap. And it apparently gets rid of this scent that some elderly people may have. So it's kind of funny. So Reddit has these things like, remind me in 1.5 days, or remind me in 12 hours. And so everyone's doing, remind me in 30 years. So I remember to get the persimmon soap. So that's interesting. I thought that was fascinating. That's the stuff that really interests me, is things like that you'd never think of, really, other than you might notice it. Is an actual scientific reason for it, an actual legitimate treatment for it called persimmon soap. So that's interesting. And apparently persimmon soap can be very drying. So, and if you're older, your skin can get super dry. So use lotion and things like that if you're going to do it. Anyway, fascinating to me. Okay, so I'll link to that below. Next up was another Reddit thread. I love these types of Reddit thread. What's your favorite skincare myth? I love those Reddit threads because there's so many myths. I mean, where to even begin? Toothpaste on acne, that's a top one. Apparently that's going to take care of it and treat it. Aspirin, another one. I'd never heard this one. You grind up aspirin and put it in water, and then you put it on your acne, which actually kind of makes sense because I think aspirin has a component of salicylic acid in it, if I'm correct. So that actually might have some actual scientific reasons. There's just better skincare products than grinding up aspirin or putting toothpaste on your face. Another one was collagen serums. Applying collagen serums will give you more collagen. You guys all know that's not true. You can't apply collagen and make collagen. It's more complex than that. Collagen and serums are a hydrating product or a hydrating ingredient, but you can't just apply collagen and have it suddenly make collagen in your skin. Sadly, it doesn't work that way. If it did, we'd all look wonderful. Another one that I found was interesting. Somebody said oily skin doesn't exist as an actual skin type. Oily skin is just skin that's too much moisture, is another myth. So I'd never really heard that one, but anyway, I'm jealous of all my oily skin friends because oily skin tends to age better than dry skin, and that's not a myth. So anyway, check out this link below with all the myths. It's kind of interesting because I'm sure you've heard some of them. I'm sure you've used some of them. Or tried some of them out of desperation or just not knowing any better. So there's so many myths out there. It's interesting. Another one that I read was a gal, was she 30 years old? Went to a salon or an esthetician that had her first skincare facial treatment done that she'd ever had done. And she said, wow, my skin looked really great for the first couple hours after that, but 10 hours later, the next day, 2 days later, I didn't notice any benefits or lasting effects. And a lot of the comments on that thread were, it's not about the 1 hour skincare. I mean, if you want to do that as a luxury treatment, that's fine, but it's about the day-to-day, taking care of yourself, having cleansing at the end of the day for sure, and things like that, using sunscreen. It's about the routine of it, not just, you can't just make up for 10 years of aging and things like that with a 1 hour treatment as esthetician. I mean, you can with lasers and things like that, but a facial isn't going to do anything. Which brings me back to another myth that they mentioned was you have to cleanse your skin twice a day, and sometimes that can be stripping and drying for people. So sometimes just washing it at the end of the day and rinsing off with water in the morning is good for some people. Okay, next up, another one. Actually, I actually was, when we were coming up to the cabin, I'm at the cabin, I was reading this one aloud because it was really kind of, I kind of echo a lot of the sentiments in there. So there's somebody that had to cancel their Dysport appointment, or Dysport, I think, is the same as Botox. It's a toxin. It's a relative of Botox. They had to cancel their Dysport appointment because of bills. And they mentioned their utilities are going up 3 times. I think they said they lived in Colorado. So their utility bills are going up. They can't afford to put gas in their car. Other people commented, yes. So many people commented, yeah, like, yeah, I'd love to get this done. Or I've had it done a lot, and now I can't afford it anymore because I have to choose between this and groceries, or this and putting gas in my car, or this or paying the heat bill. And I guess I'd rather have no Dysport and live in a hot house, warm house, or have food in my belly. But it's sad that these days everything we have to make a choice. So anyway, just kind of resonated with me and resonated with a lot of people. So be responsible, I guess, if, you know, I mean, in the long run, it's better to have a heated house and groceries than that. But it still sucks, especially when it's something this gal was able to afford to do 6 months ago, and now something changed, utility bills, that can't afford it. Okay, then the last one was a Reddit thread. Somebody linked to this Reddit thread and said, look at this, it's not chicken stock in this pot. Because it looked like it was like chicken broth or chicken stock. And this gal went and deep cleaned all of her face cloths. Like her face cloths that she uses to wash off her makeup and things. Like she'd been washing it in the laundry regularly. But that wasn't really removing a lot of the oil and debris that was built up. So she took these face cloths and soaked them in, I think, borax and OxyClean for a couple hours, and then just see how much of the residue and buildup came out of these face towels. So it's kind of gross. I don't know. If you have a weak stomach, don't look at it. But it's kind of interesting how much things just build up in our laundry and things like that. So I don't know. Anyway, I'll link to these below. Kind of interesting, especially, you know, it was the old people smell thing that went downhill for me this morning. So anyway. So remind me in 30 years, Reddit, okay? Persimmon soap. Anyway, interested in your guys' thoughts. Check out the links below. Let me know your thoughts on them. And I will see you guys more tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.